Everything that's been happening is due to racism. I'm tired of you dumb motherfuckers pretending that it wasn't. The redistricting is due to racism.
Places with a black man for $1 million, and you know exactly why. Our fucking racism. If you're staying neutral while a man gets done wrong, you're just helping the fucking bully.
Do 9/11, Israel did, absolutely. The same people who raped children on Epstein Island, you can all go to hell, you corrupt, evil bastards.
So white people are outraged, like they are outraged, and they are exposing their own. So many things that they are putting out, so many secrets that they are putting out is so crazy. Like, there are a couple of things that perhaps you might have heard before, but listen, this video is full of revelations upon revelations upon revelations. I don't want to talk much. And also I have other videos of other Americans sharing what they know about the systematic ways that they've used in making other race look so bad and seem demonic, like they are the evil ones, but rather their own people are doing the most and are really the devils. I don't want to talk much. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe. You don't lose anything by liking. Just give the video a thumbs up. Let's go into the video.
Everything that's been happening is due to racism. I'm tired of you dumb motherfuckers pretending that it wasn't. The redistricting is due to racism because black people vote Democrat in the South. Why do black people vote Democrat in the South? Well, I'll tell you why. Because Democrats gave them the vote, and then all of the white people became Republicans. Because white people in the South do not want to be in community with black people. So they went and switched to another fucking party. The destruction of education in this country is because white people in the South did not want their kids going to schools with black kids. So they have been trying to destroy the Department of Education so they can steal tax money and make white-only schools. Abortion. They don't want black women to have access to reproductive care so they can economically hold them the fuck down. Also, it was a backdoor way to trick Catholics and other people that aren't Southern fucking Baptists and evangelicals into coming into community with white Southerners over a wedge issue so they could take over the Supreme Court so the Supreme Court could say that racism is over and instantly we bring back all the racist fucking policies. It's been this way the entire fucking time. If you can't see that, you are fucking stupid. I'm sorry.
Most white folks don't have the stomach to say the truth out loud about race, so I'm going to do it for you. Racism ain't a touchy subject if you're not fucking racist. If the truth makes you feel attacked, you're probably protecting a fucking lie. You wouldn't trade places with a black man for $1 million, and you know exactly why. Our fucking racism. If you're staying neutral while a man gets done wrong, you're just helping the fucking bully. Saying you don't see color just means you're too scared to see the fucking truth. If you gotta keep a man on his knees just to feel tall, you're the weakest man in the whole goddamn room. Bragging about a win in a rigged race don't make you a winner. That just makes you a fucking cheater. They taught you to hate your neighbor so you wouldn't notice they're picking your fucking pockets. That's a goddamn truth right there. Your comfort is a bill that someone else is paying with their fucking life. This ain't casual racism. It's fucking real. White supremacy is sinking the whole damn boat just to watch your neighbor go under while you drown with them, motherfucker. White supremacy is burning your own goddamn house to the fucking ground just to make sure your neighbor stays cold. As white people, we have a choice to make. We can find our soul or we can keep the lie, but we'll never have both. Ever.
U.S. boxer Bryce Mitchell, actually he's an MMA guy in the UFC, but Muslims did not do 9/11. Israel did, absolutely. The same people who raped children on Epstein Island, you can all go to hell, you corrupt, evil bastards. You did 9/11 and you blamed it on the Muslims, 110%. And for those of you that think that this corrupt group of people, these demons, they don't care about Christians either. Look at what they're doing to the Christians in Lebanon right now. We owe the Muslims an apology for all of the demonization that we did over these years, these past decades, because of a corrupt MSM that has jammed it into Westerners' heads that Muslims and Arabs and Persians are bad.
Says, What about white people? Oh, poor old little white people. We need to be protected. We're so oppressed. All right, so here we go. You ready for some stats? White school districts get $23 billion more in funding than black school districts. White people make 27% more in salary on average than black people. For the first 81 years that our country existed, there was 0% black representation in Congress. 0. Then, during the period of Reconstruction from 1870 to 1901, we actually had 22 black members of Congress and about 1,500 black people that held local and national offices. But Jim Crow didn't like that. So during the Jim Crow era of 1901 to 1929, what happened? We went back to 0% representation. Then in 1975, we had gradually increased to the whopping number of 17 black people in government offices. And in 1981, we were still 94% white in the government. However, by 2025, that ratio had increased to 12.5% black representatives in government. And that is a record for the United States. And it actually matches the proportion of black people in the population. So that was an amazing accomplishment for us. And guess what's happened now? The white supremacists don't like that. So what's happened? They're now removing the right for black voices to be heard and for their votes to actually lead to their electing representatives that understand their experience of black people, because the white supremacists who are in the White House, all over the Republican Party, they didn't like that black people had made such progress in terms of their representation in the government. Finally, I can get into the crime statistics if you like. Like, for instance, a study done in Chicago found that black people were 4 times more likely to be stopped by the police. In LA, it's 120% more often that black people are stopped by police. In New York City, 90% of all traffic stops involve people of color. In Cleveland, people of color have 3 times more of a chance to have their vehicle searched after they've been stopped. So, yeah. Tell me how disenfranchised white people are again. You're just lying. Well, you could actually do your own goddamn research. So just saying you're lying or these aren't real isn't a response. That's just what an uneducated, stupid person says. It's very easy to do research right now.
When all the immigrants are gone and you've got your country back, who will you blame? When your landlord still puts 20% on the rent of your flat? When the boats stop crossing over and you've finally taken it back, who will you blame? When your payslip still dissolves before it even hits your hands? When every mosque is rubble and St George hangs from every lamp, who will you blame when your mum dies in a waiting room because the NHS collapsed? When every foreign worker's gone from every ward and taxi rank, who will you blame when your town's all vape shops, bookies, food banks, pubs and cash converters back to back? When the papers stop screaming about dinghies every day, who will you blame when your kid works 40 hours and still cannot move away? Because the truth is, they gave you neighbours as the enemy, so you'd never look above. Turned your anger into ammunition for the people picking pockets with a flag wrapped around their gloves. And every time your life got harder, they just handed you someone else to hate. The Muslim, the migrant, the trans kid, the claimant. Anywhere to point the rage, except the bastards getting paid. So when all the immigrants are gone and your rent still rises and your bills still bite and your streets still crumble and your cupboards still stay light, maybe then you'll realise the people who destroyed this country were born here.
Jesus, Yeshua, was black. He did not look like me.
Behold, I am black. This is also why the synagogue of the Satan created the term race, white, and black. It is also why the indigenous people are targeted even more compared to other people, because the indigenous aboriginal people, they are the original people who lived on the land. This means that the indigenous people have a legal, really a lawful right to inherit the land, which, I hate to use the terminology because it's not correct, the current white man / whitewashed system basically ended up stealing from the darker skins. Now listen, I get it. The so-called whites enslaved the blacks and the blacks enslaved the whites and the blacks enslaved the blacks. Listen, I get it. But the point is that they created a race a white versus black system, color of law to make you think, oh, well, I'm melanated, so I can't be part of the true Israel. And honestly, when you break it down, it is absolutely maniacal what they have done to basically take that white picture of Jesus or Caesar Borgia and propitiate a false image. And the Bible talks about this so explicitly and specifically, but it is through the race and the terms white and black. We didn't use the term race, white or black, till after the 1500s. Everybody is a little melanated to a certain degree. The more melanated you are, probably the more so-called original roots you have. The darker you are, basically, the more likely you are to be more Hebrew is what it comes down to. Now, they have done such a great job, like erasing the term or the peoples, the black Irish. Europe used to be ruled by blacks. I mean, so-called blacks. I'm sorry. It's not the correct, etymology. Europe used to be ruled by the negus, by the kings, because the N-word means king. All you gotta do is look into this and you're like, that's why Netanyahu went ahead and whitewashed everything. Because as long as we think that so-called white people are supposed to rule the world and have ruled the world since the beginning of time, then we have given into the psyop and we turned the N-word. They turned the evil into good and the good into the evil. I just wanted to do this video for all my brothers out there. And remember, anybody who's like, oh, well, you're not black enough or you're not white enough. Well, you aren't part of Israel then, because Israel isn't just white or black. It is a mixed multitude, also represented by the coat of Joseph. Many colors. Go read and study it. We don't allow racism here at jacobslink.com. Just the truth, which might sound a little racist to you at first, but listen, we have to break those shackles of race. The term white and black, it didn't exist till after the 1500s. So once you wake up to the black magic ritual and the whitewashing, truly almost everybody is under a spirit of racism, the spirit of pride, the spirit of Leviathan, causing a stiff neck in my people to be stiff neck. I'm so sorry. Let me tell you what. The herbs will heal the nations to end the curse. Revelations 22:3. Learn the way, because it's either through hell or Barbados. Great book. You should look into it, because it talks about this as well. Anyways, go to jacobslink.com for everything you need to start healing and free resources / the Health Bible.
Tell me something that white people say to let you know that they're low-key racist.
Funny you should ask. I have a list. All lives matter. Race baiting. Politically correct. Race card. Reverse racism. Black on black crime. I'm not a racist, but identity politics. Why isn't there a White History Month? Check my last video for that one. Heritage, not hate. Saying to a black person, can I touch your hair? Saying to a black person, you're so articulate. Focusing on the criminal activity of a victim when a black person is killed by a cop, or saying, if he just would have complied. And lastly, when issues of race are being discussed, they say, why do you talk about race so much? That's all I have right now. It is not the full list. What else did I miss?
When I was in med school, they told us that when you have a black patient, you need to adjust their GFR by like 16% or something, which in essence means that if a black person has the exact same filtration rate as a white person in their kidneys, you will assess the white person as needing care, needing a kidney transplant, and you will accept the black person as healthy, despite the fact that they have the exact same filtration rate, which at the time I thought was really dodgy. And I guess the reasoning for it was because they say black people have more muscle mass, and so they have more creatinine. I remember thinking, wait a second, this is really going to adversely affect black people who need a kidney, who will not be put on the list. And I remember I turned around to the table I was with and I said, does that not strike you guys as like really dodgy? And I don't know, everyone around me was brainwashed by the British medical system, but everyone was like arguing against me like really passionately and like, no, it's completely fine. Anyway, I found out that they removed this from the NICE guidelines in around August 2021. And I reckon I would have been in this class sometime in 2021 where they were teaching us young doctors, they were teaching the young doctors this information. And I think it was completely fine and okay, even though it was literally removed like around the same time. And everyone tells you there's absolutely no impact of racism in this country. And I was like, okay. When I was in med school, they told us that when you have a black patient, you need to adjust.
When I look at my own country, the United States, it is a semi-democratic, white-dominated, hierarchical, racist society that aims to preserve privilege by the elites. That's how it was formed in 1787. It was a slave-owning, genocidal country, killing Native Americans for a white culture. But amazingly, it still looks that way. Although we're much more diverse now than we were. The most violent country in the world in the 19th century, by far, was perhaps the most democratic or second most democratic, and that was Britain. You could be democratic at home and ruthlessly imperial abroad. The most violent country in the world since 1950 has been the United States. It's been by far involved
Jeffrey,
in more,
stop now. Jeffrey, I'm your moderator, and it's enough.
400,000 hectares across 12 countries in Africa and Asia. One complex ownership structure. This is a Stockton plantation empire. At the top, French billionaire Vincent Bolloré holds nearly 40%. The ownership structure is deliberately complicated, and fortunately for me, a lot of journalists already did the work of mapping how the companies work together. This complex web of holding and operational companies across borders makes it very difficult to investigate or litigate. But the real control happens in Fribourg, Switzerland. 3 companies, Sogesco, Sogfenco, and Sodimex, manage everything. According to HEKS research, these Swiss companies have, and I quote, a decisive influence on the company that operates the plantation. Until 2022, Vincent Bolloré controlled an infrastructure empire across the African continent. I compiled the ports listed across multiple sources over time, 16 container terminals, 22 inland ports. Then I found an old tweet from 2018 with a very detailed map of Bolloré-controlled infrastructure in Africa. Reverse searching the image revealed that it was originally pulled from the Bolloré Transport website, which was no longer operational. So I checked the Wayback Archive and found the page with a detailed list of all ports and corridors. I thought it'd be a shame to lose this data, so I geo-referenced the image and redrew those lines to show you the full Bolloré network on this one map. The scale is staggering. It includes the entire 1,000-kilometer Cameroon Railway.
The single largest owner of land in Africa is a French billionaire who also controls the media. You know what's so funny? Every time I talk about Bolloré, Africans on my comments, oh, Nigerians don't watch TV. Young Africans don't watch TV. Yeah, okay. Somehow you think you know better than them. I don't know better than them. But I do know this. No one's going to invest billions of dollars into something that's dying. No one's going to invest billions of dollars into something that doesn't have value. So while you're sitting there going, no one's watching TV, no one... They're investing. They're controlling the minds of your children. You're still in denial on what the reality is.
Your name is Brad, you have a white person's name. Well, would you look at that, the cracker chip telling you exactly what to say, I see. Of course my name is Bradley. It's the only name you can pronounce. No purpose flower, no other languages than English. And you can't even use it that well. Look at this snow monkey brain motherfucker right here. Now, of course, I have to put you in the crackers book. It's a tradition we have around here. Probably think Genya is a language. Who am I kidding? Probably doesn't even know Genya is a country.
You see, these are some of the things that I really know that so many white people know. They actually know the truth, but because they benefit from whatever that their elites are doing, they don't care. And as the man said, all the time they make it look like, oh, all races are equal, all races are this, but they know deep down that some other races are being looked down upon, are being cheated. Like basically they've done so many wrong things to other races, especially blacks. They know, but they don't want to accept the fact that this is what they, like their people, are doing to other races. And also, one thing that I love is some of these white people that actually boldly come out to speak the truth to the whole world. That shows that it's not all of them. Yes, it's not all of them that are evil, although indirectly they are benefiting. But so far as they've come out to speak about it, I think that is something that we should applaud them for. And also, I don't know what exactly is going to happen for this particular things to stop. I think probably when the Messiah or Jesus himself comes, because they have the power now. And trust me, it will be difficult for black people to overcome these kind of things that they are doing to us. I think the only thing that we are supposed to do is just focus on ourselves and be united. You know, that's one big problem we have in the black community, especially the diasporans and Africans. It's something that I think we should really try and work on, build ourselves, and also build our own communities, support our businesses, do what we can do do to help each other. That's the only way. So this is what I have to tell you. If you're a black person watching this, let's help ourselves, because no matter what you do, you are being hated everywhere you go. You don't have any friends. You don't have any friends. Thank you so much for watching.